What's up guys, this is Billy here from 37 Tech, and today we are unboxing Sony's newest phone in Singapore, and that is the Xperia XZ Premium. So let's go right on ahead. Yeah, there we go. Right, so right in the box we have the phone itself, and let's peel this off. It's like protective plastic. Alright, and here we go. The first thing you'll see about this phone is its really traditional form factor. It's like a bar-shaped smartphone with like a little bit of rounded edges that's easier to hold in the hand box. So you can see the Sony branding right here. So right in the box you have your documentation. Over here your manuals and stuff. Let's get this out of the way. And you have a Type-C cable. So this is a Type-C cable, and it comes with a quick charger as well. This is the UCH20 quick charger. It's 5 volts and 1.5 amps, so it should be able to charge up your phone pretty quick. So let's put this aside. And I think that's about it for the box itself, but I believe that the Sony Xperia XZ Premium comes with a pair of headphones. I'm not sure what these headphones are yet, but they should be pretty standard stock quality headphones. Alright, so let's take a look at the phone itself. So on the front here, you'll find a 5.5 inch 4K LCD display. And on the top right here, you have your front-facing speaker. I don't think you can see it so well, but yeah, there we go. You have your Sony branding right here. You have your top front-facing speaker, which doubles as an earpiece. You have your 13 megapixel front-facing camera, which is f2.0 aperture. You have your proximity sensor. And on the bottom you have your other front-facing speaker. So these two speakers work together to produce some really good stereo sound. Yep. So on the side of the phone you have your fingerprint scanner, which doubles up as a power button. So it unlocks the phone really fast. There you go. It's almost instantaneous. Even if you press it, it should unlock really fast. And you have your volume buttons. You have your camera shortcut button. So if you press this, the camera opens. It's pretty handy. You can snap a picture of that even. So it kind of feels like a really, it feels natural, you know, like a shutter button. And on the other side, you have your SIM tray, which you can take out and put in your SIM here. It's pretty convenient, unlike some other manufacturers. And I believe you can also put in a micro SD card slot as well. And on top, you have your 3.5mm headphone jack plus a microphone. And on the bottom, you have your USB Type-C 3.1 charging port, which supports quick charging and fast data transfer. And you have your other microphone as well. On the back, you have your 19 megapixel camera with f2.0 lens. You have a couple of sensors which help with taking pictures, and a flash, a single LED flash. And obviously, you have your Xperia branding and an NFC logo. So that's about it. I mean, in terms of form factor, it's pretty conventional. I would say, you know, against the Galaxy S8 and the HTC, you know, it doesn't win any awards, but well, it looks really good. That's what I would say. They've rounded the corners of the phone itself, so it's easier to hold in their hand, unlike the previous Sony phones, which are a little sharp, and you know, if you hold them like this, they kind of like dig into your hand. But this is like actually more comfortable than you know, the rest of the Sony Xperia phones. So it's a really good design move from Sony, but you know, we kind of wish that they might have stuck to something other than glass, but I mean, that's a personal preference. It still looks really good. You can take a look at the reflection. It comes in other colors as well, so you know, keep an eye out for that. So the Sony Xperia XZ Premium has really flagship level specs. Inside you'll find a Snapdragon 835, which is Qualcomm's latest and most powerful chip that's found on other flagships such as the HTC U11 and Samsung Galaxy S8 in the US. You know, this thing comes with 4GB of RAM, and you know, it has the usual suite of connectivity functions like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, NFC at the back, so you can do mobile payments and the like. It's got a pretty substantial battery, 3200 mAh, but we're not entirely sure if that means good battery life, because the screen itself is a 4K screen. It takes up a lot of battery, so the more resolution the screen has, the more battery it will take up. But thankfully, you know, we found out that actually Sony, you know, when you're using regular applications, like, you know, if you're on a launcher or if you're on Chrome, like surfing the web, you only use the phone at 1080p which is a lower resolution and consumes less battery. However, if you go to apps like YouTube and you launch a 4K video, that will actually take up your battery. The phone itself will upscale the resolution to full Ultra HD, and that will consume a lot more battery. This launcher itself is pretty much simple. There's nothing fancy, nothing too heavily skinned, unlike Samsung's. It's called TouchWiz. Yeah, the skin is actually pretty light, and in fact, I believe that this is the latest version of Android. Yes, it is 7.1.1 with the latest security patch, and that's good. Sony is actually working hard to make sure that their phones are up to date. So the XZ Premium's 4K display is actually supposed to be really good for viewing high resolution videos and stuff you can download from the net. But honestly, not much applications out there support 4K content. I believe that only YouTube at this point of time has like 4K videos and 60 FPS at play. But even if that's the case, I mean, the screen itself, we find that it's kind of regular. It's a regular LCD screen, and it doesn't use AMOLED technology or any special technology other than Sony's Triluminos technology, which is pretty okay. I mean, it produces some true to life colors, but nothing substantial. So, but the biggest issue we have here actually is like the usefulness of 4K. If we compare it to something like the Samsung Galaxy S7, not a lot of people can actually tell the difference in resolution if you take a look. Well, to most people actually, when they look at this on first glance, all they see is the same kind of resolution and sharpness and quality. But people have mentioned that the Samsung Galaxy S7 here, all phones with AMOLED actually produce better colors. The last feature I want to talk about on the XZ Premium is its really interesting camera. So this is a 19 megapixel camera, but it can take up to 960 frames per second slow motion video. And just to give you a comparison of the iPhone can only take up to 240 frames per second. So basically it's really slow motion videos. And just to give you an idea of how slow it is, check this out. So this is a guy on a motorcycle, and you know how motorcycles, how fast they go, but check it out. He's moving really slowly. And he goes on. And you can take a look at, all the really small details. You can see the wheels moving slowly. You can see people moving. You can even see the flickering out the displays, as they refresh along the side. So we think this is actually a really cool feature, but unfortunately we've only been able to run the 960 FPS a couple of seconds at a time. Still, we think it's a great feature, not commonly found on most phones. The Samsung Galaxy S8, we believe, only goes up to 240p, and other phones like the Moto don't have such a slow-mo, video experience. Alright, so that's all the time we have for you today. Stay tuned to our Facebook page because we're going to do even more in-depth reviews on the Sony Xperia XZ Premium. What we're going to do is that we're going to test the camera really extensively against all the other flagship phones like the Samsung Galaxy S8 and the HTC U11. We're going to do a test on the battery life. We're going to push it to the limit by running Netflix on this thing until it dies. We're also going to do some comparisons with other phones like the Moto Z2 Play, and we are gonna do a blind display test. I mean, we're not that convinced of the 4K display, so we're gonna ask people, blindly, can they tell a difference between a 4K display and a 2K display or 1080p display? So once again, this is Billy from 37 Tech signing off. Thanks for tuning in. We hope you have a great week ahead, and see you around next time.